All right. I think we're live. I hope we are. In any case, welcome. You know exactly what it is. You can probably see the title, I'm sure. It's Game of Thrones versus Vanguard Gaming. We're here on the Titan R6 tournament, and we're in Coastline, which is quite a spicy map indeed. I must admit, this is one of the more played maps that we've been seeing in recent Rainbow Six history in recent times. It's fun. It's fun. There's a lot of possibilities on this map. It's very enjoyable to watch a lot of the time. So let's hope that that is what comes through today. We're going to be seeing a Maverick and Hibana being taken off the board, which, yep, I guess that's pretty reasonable. The Hibana, obviously, a pretty strong pick on this map, in my opinion. We've seen it being utilized quite a lot. And if you watch YouTube, anything about Rainbow Six, you've most likely seen the breakdown of Hibana on this map and why she's so strong. So that being taken off the board is definitely nothing surprising. Mira going to be taken off as well. The Maverick is probably the most surprising pick to me. I think there are potentially other operators on this map that could be a little bit more pertinent to ban. But in any case, Echo going to be the last one taken off the board as well. Echo, very, very powerful pick. Pretty much all across the board. Doesn't matter what map you're on. Doesn't matter what the team comp is. You know, the ability to remotely deny a defuse plant is pretty strong. So, yeah, that's going to be taken off the board. And I believe there's a couple of glitches with that operator. I'm not sure if they fixed it recently, but it is there. So, yeah, just taking that off the board takes away those possibilities there. Now, on the side of the attackers, we're going to see Ash, Buck, Zofia, Jackal, and IQ getting picked up. On the other side, Maestro, Mozzie, Legion, Mute, and Castle, which is quite interesting. Of course, we're going to be heading up to the second floor, Hookah and Billiards. I'm interested to see how they utilize this castle. Whenever a team brings out a castle, I'm always very interested to see how it gets used, because it can be used to really, really great effect. Rotation denials, area denials, even entry denials if you pair the castle up with the mute. So yeah, we'll see if that comes through. Of course, the team there for Vanguard, who is of course on the defense, does have a mute as well, so they could potentially play the castle mute combo, which I haven't seen much of, but I think is quite strong, and I think definitely should be given a little bit more love. In any case, we're going to watch the setup here happening for Vanguard. We'll see exactly how they set this one up. Going to be reinforcing that wall, heading out into the courtyard. Pretty standard. You don't want anyone to break through there, and that might even be the reason for the Maverick ban. You don't want the Maverick to rappel down there and just put some holes in, get some little cheeky peeks in towards the side, so they're going to be removing that possibility, making sure it's going to be difficult to get through there. Now, it looks like the castle's actually going to be cutting off the entire rotation in through the aquarium. That is very interesting, because that is very close to sight. Usually, you want your team to have a little bit more roaming presence, but I guess if they play around it in some sort of way that they've prepared, I guess that works nicely. So we'll see if that is the case. Of course, Game of Thrones is going to be starting their droning procedure and actually going to be taking some very, very quick fights here. White Carl, not shy of just getting into the peaks there, putting some shots through. So we're going to see Legion already down below half HP. Game of Thrones now just slowly making their way in, clearing out the bottom floor there before they move their way up. So a nice vertical clear coming through as per usual, nothing too crazy. Good to see. A lot of teams will just straight up rush in towards the bomb site, giving absolutely no attention over towards any potential roamers. So it's good that they're clearing out all the floors here, making sure they do their due diligence. Let's hope they don't run out of time. We've seen a lot of teams get punished on time, but we still have a good amount of time remaining here. 1 minute 45 seconds left on the clock. Oh, but lots of shots going straight into the Buck. And that's going to be 2 members. Make that 3 members of Game of Thrones taken off the board already. So a very strong defense coming out here for Vanguard. It's going to be Vlad and Peel, who are the last 2 left alive for the Game of Thrones squad. And with 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock, they've got a lot of work to do if they want to try and make this at any point winnable. But the castle going to be taken down. So that's 1 pick on the board now for Game of Thrones. It's going to make things a little bit easier, but the time is definitely working against them. They're going to have to work very, very quickly if they want this to be winnable. You're going to be very quickly making their way up, trying to get the peek on there. But the alarm, the proximity alarm, getting the perfect information over to Vanguard, and they utilize it perfectly with a perfect peek. And that's pretty much going to be it. Vanguard going to be winning round one. A very, very well played round, if I do say so myself. That was, yeah, that was some nice stuff. I like the way that was played. The nice early picks coming out there. Obviously, all the right angles being held, and a nice utilization of the sound proximity alarm. I haven't actually seen those be utilized that much, but in recent times, people have been picking them up more, and you can see here how absolutely strong, really, really powerful that pick is. You know, just picking up the proximity alarm, plopping it down means that you don't have to jiggle. One of the things is, you know, checking angles down, you know, specifically hot peak angles, you know, where a lot of people know, or a lot of people like to peak, or you know somebody's going to peak, you know, for instance, like that corridor, you can plop the proximity alarm down on the entrance to that, say for instance, that corridor or that, you know, spot, and you don't have to peek it ever again until that alarm goes off. So you could be a lot safer and not give away any of the information, not give away any potential, you know, peeker's advantage. So that's a very strong tool to use, and it's good to see that being utilized. Now, we are going to be seeing the kitchen bomb site coming out next for Vanguard, which is quite a strong one. And with no Hibana on the board, this bomb site might be quite difficult for Game of Thrones to attack. Now, you can see that castle being utilized once again to board up those crucial windows, make sure there are no spicy, cheeky peaks coming in there. Now, of course, Game of Thrones, they do have the Ash and the Zofia and the Buck, which means they can definitely clear out all of that reinforcement, but it is going to waste a lot of that utility, which is exactly what the castle can do. You know, if the castle is not stopping you, then at the very least, it's making you waste your utility, which means that the attackers have less utility when they attack the bomb site directly. So, yeah, we'll see if that works out for them. Of course, pretty standard stuff on both sides, except for the Jackal, which we don't see all too often in team comps, but can be picked up in lots of situations, and especially if you utilize it right, you can count out a lot of those roamers, get some information, hunt down the players, get some free kills. So we'll see if that is what happens. Right here, Jaeger, very, very close on an angle, and is actually going to get peeked from the complete opposite side. The Jackal coming in handy there, taking the first pick. So that's going to be Game of Thrones starting things off on the right foot. They do not want to let Vanguard run away with this one. They are looking to take this round into their pockets. Going to be opening up the floors, making sure that vertical play is coming out. So some nice setups here coming out from Game of Thrones. They know they need to play this one to the T if they are to win. So good to see them setting up here, playing as they should, opening up those floors, making sure they have those vertical angles coming in. And a very quick shot from Ergo is going to close out another one for Game of Thrones. So already now 2 players off the board for Vanguard, 3 left alive against 5. It's going to be quite a difficult one for them to keep a hold of. They're going to have to hold those angles pretty much perfectly if they want any sort of chance at winning this. And it starts with a couple of good peaks, so we'll see if any of that comes through. Now, a lot of the players here from Vanguard actually off-site, moving around. Let's see if that comes in handy. Right now, we have 55 seconds left on the board, and only 2 players for Vanguard now, as Fred gets taken off the board as well. Enemy getting that one for himself. The defuser will be planted right there by the window. The Ash could be the one to do that, and that's going to put them in such a difficult position now. Castle going to get 1. That is, of course, being Vlad. Ergo in a very difficult position. Can he play around it? Will get the first. Has to find the second as well to close this one out. But Castle cannot do it. It's going to be Game of Thrones winning round 2. Nice cheeky off angle, held by the Zofia. So, 1-2-1, 1 round for both sides. Things nice and even. We'll see who can pull ahead, if anyone can pull ahead. In recent times, we've seen a lot of teams go head-to-head, a lot of teams breaking dead even and have to take it all the way to overtime. Now, of course, this is a best of one, which means there are no second chances, no chances for redemption. It is only now, it is only here. Team that wins this map will, of course, take that W, get that point moving forward through the eliminations, or through to the eliminations. And that's what those points are doing.
Attackers need to locate and
now, it is going to be interesting to see. Castle was about to be 6 picks away into the Valkyrie, but then they decided against it and just kept the castle. Obviously, feeling like that castle could be working out for them, they're going to stick with it. Vanguard pretty confident in their ability to utilize it. Interestingly enough, I don't think I've seen the castle mute combo at all. There is one going down there, which is a very, very critical one, actually, now that you think about it, because that particular angle is very difficult to hold on to as a defender, so reinforcing it like that is going to make it so much easier. At most, it's going to stop the attackers from just walking in. At the very least, it's going to waste a lot of their time. So that's a very crucial one to go down there. We'll see if that one does become a thorn in the side of Game of Drones, or if Game of Drones will just be able to walk straight past it. Of course, they do, as per usual, have their Ash, Buck, and Sophia, which means they can clear out a lot of reinforcements. Alright, so we're going to be having a look here. Game of Drones making their way in, getting in towards that top floor. Once again, with the vertical clears, definitely something I appreciate. It's definitely a good setup. A lot of the, as I said before, a lot of the teams will just directly attack site. And unless you are incredibly capable or very, very confident that you're better than your opponent, it is not the best position to take. So right now, Urgo is going to be the one to pick up the first frag for Game of Drones, although one was traded for themselves. So it is a 1-for-1, but breaking even is still okay. Nothing to be concerned about just yet. Game of Drones making their way in very swiftly, having cleared the first floor, moving in. Or the second floor, moving into the first floor. Now, pressing their way towards the site. Droning out for that information as well. So, doing their due diligence, making sure they've got everything under control. 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. So we'll still have a good bit of time to work with to clear out these defender utilities and make it easy for them to get in. See the bucket getting those vertical angles on, making sure those floors are opened up. The rest of the team just encroaching slowly towards those positions. You can see the Ash now moving down. Quite Carl going to be picking up one for himself. Urgo just here making sure those goo mines aren't doing all the damage. Right now, Game of Drones, they've got a good leg up so far. 2 players down on the side of Vanguard for only 1 on the side of Game of Drones. With 45 seconds now left on the clock, they're going to have to pull the trigger pretty soon and just hope that the man advantage works out for them. If they play for the trades now, they could potentially win it out, but they do need to do something. Sitting here passively is only going to watch that clock tick down, and that's, of course, nothing that you want. So right now, 25 seconds left on the clock. Fred going to get the first shot into Urgo. And that's going to make things difficult for Game of Drones. They're not pulling the trigger quickly enough. Quite Carl going to get one, but they need to get so much more. There comes the second. It's only one player that, of course, being the Legion to defend this bomb site, but the time is ticking. Will come down, but there it is. Zell going to pick up one. Could potentially pick up another one. The peak is actually right here in the perfect position, and it will come through. And now it's a 1v1. And this is so doable. Buck going to be absolutely rushing to try and get this one. The defuse getting destroyed. Oh, he gets the footsteps, but enemy will win it out. That was very, very close. That was very close. You can even see the pre-fire coming out there. So well played by both those players. But enemy coming out on top, going to be winning that one out for the team. So it's going to be 2 now coming out for a Game of Drones. 2, only 1 for Vanguard. I think Vanguard have been doing pretty well, though. It's unfortunate that they lost that one. They were able to hang on for as long as possible. Of course, Zell coming in there with some good clutch potential. But ultimately, we still have a couple more rounds in this half. to see how things go. Castle Mute going to be picked up once again. Legion, Mozzie, and Jaeger as well for the defense team. On the other side,
Defenders, protect your
also
bombs from being
pretty
defused by
standard
attackers.
setup. That, of course, being Ashbuck, Sophia IQ, and the Jackal once again coming out for Tier Peel. Been working out for them pretty decently, so definitely can't make any complaints in that regard. The Castle
Attackers are
going to
ready
be
to
doing as Castle does, reinforcing all of those walls. Interesting, once again, blocking off the aquarium room. Wouldn't be surprised if it reinforces the window as well. Yeah, there comes the reinforcement. Making sure that that window, which is actually quite a crucial window, a lot of teams don't give enough respect to that window. And, well, if you're playing matchmade and you just spam through that window, chances are you might catch someone out. Pretty good chances.
Attackers are
Now,
moving
you
to
will
defuse
see
the
this
bomb.
time around that that castle barricade is blocking off the main entrance into Aquarium, but the rotation hole is there for the teams to move through. So that is going to allow them access to that portion of the map. Should they want to move there, it might come back to bite them, of course, because they can't board it back up, but it is what it is. You can see Game of Drones now making their way in, getting themselves in towards the site. You can see the drone work being done here.
Attackers
Vlad
dropped
just
the bomb
holding the
diffuser.
angle. This
Attackers
actually
have recovered their
a
diffuser.
good angle to hold as well. Of course, that castle right down the other side. But there's no way for the IQ to know that. Ooh. But Vlad has spotted the rotation hole, knows that somebody is playing on this side of the map, or potentially watching through the point. And there's the proximity alarm once again, utilized to absolute perfection. Fred going to be picking up the first kill onto IQ. With IQ off the board, it's going to be difficult to take out any of those pieces of utility. Now Zelp going to be firing back, getting another one. Oh, Ogo just brilliantly playing the angle perfectly, but gets taken down immediately. Tries to crawl away though, but will not succeed. You cannot let the Sophia get away because, of course, Sophia can resurrect herself or pick herself
Attackers
back up,
recovered
as
the
it
bomb
were.
diffuser.
We have 2 players now remaining on the side of a Game of Drones. And they've got a lot of work to do in these 1 minute 25 seconds against the 3 players here from Vanguard. This is a good spot for Vanguard to be in. They can hold on to the bomb site now for at least a little bit longer. Maybe get themselves around to even things out before they go into the next one. Of course, you can't let the Drones run away with this one. As I said earlier, there is no chance for redemption here. This is it. This is the best of 1 map. You have to win this one out. So they need as many rounds as possible in this half. Otherwise, they will be looking at that. Oh, ooh, Ash going to be taken down in a very, very quick peek from Fred there, making sure those angles are being held. You see that pre-fire coming out. They know exactly where to look. And now it's Enemy with a lot of work to do. 44 seconds left on the clock. And 3 players from Vanguard to take out. Is it possible? Well, that question remains to be seen. Enemy has to check these corners. Otherwise, it's being taken out immediately. Oh, there it is. The first one going to be responded, but the second cannot come through. It is going to be Vanguard Gaming winning round of 4. Very nicely played by Fred as well. A very difficult situation to be in. And the fact that he held on for so long is admirable. But it is going to be 2 against 2 as we slowly make our way towards the end of the half. Slowly but surely. And we will be heading to Blue and Sunrise with a Castle, Smoke, Pulse, Wamai, and Valkyrie. Interestingly enough, they're going to be switching up a Pulse for the Jaeger. Going to be getting that Wamai Jaeger combo going. Of course, a very, very strong operator combo. I talk about it a lot when I see it. It is one of those combos that can waste a lot of the attacker time, as well as wasting all of their utility, which makes it very difficult for them to get those crucial attacks going. So Wamai Jaeger, very, very strong. They're going to be utilizing that one. Of course, Smoke Castle and Valkyrie. The Valkyrie can be gathering a lot of intel for the defense there. Smoke wasting a lot of time, as well as the Castle, who can waste a lot of time and utility. So a nice lineup coming out here from Vanguard. They're looking to play the time game, it seems.
10 seconds
Let's
left.
see if that is how they do it. Of course, on the side of Game of Drones, pretty standard operator lineup for them.
5
We've seen
seconds
this
of insertion.
a number of times, so nothing too crazy to see coming out from them. Now we just wait and see how this attack comes through. Game of Drones have been pretty successful in recent times, although Vanguard doing the same. Of course, the score is currently even 2-2, so we're just waiting to see who pulls ahead. Only one team can win this one. So we are going to be waiting to see which team that is as Game of Drones starts their attack. Some shots going to come through from White Carl to try and catch anyone out through the wall. Some nice replay going on there. Of course, there is no one on the other side, so nothing going to be coming of that. But right now, Game of Thrones making a very, very swift attack on the second floor. They're making sure to get that vertical clear on, make sure everything is done perfectly. If the fan comes through this wall, it could do so much damage, and Ergo pulls the trigger. Some really great game awareness coming out there. Knows exactly where to place those shots. Gets rewarded with a kill. That's going to be a good foot forward for Game of Drones if they want to win this one. Of course, Vanguard now have to make the most of this defense. Now clearing out the second floor is going to give them movements on it towards the first, making sure they get that attack on the Jaeger, getting spotted out by the Jackal, and that is the power of the Jackal, going to push you straight out of position. And, well, he knows where you are, so that comes through. Now the spray coming in from Buck through the floor, trying to catch those players out. Nice vertical play, putting the pressure on, and a great Nitro Cell coming out from Vanguard. That, of course, going to be Rickster pulling that one onto Tier Peel. So that's going to be one down now for Game of Drones. The man count is even 4-4. Things made a little bit easier. 1 minute left on the clock. Game of Drones have to make this work somehow. They've spent a lot of time pushing into the second floor, but while that is all well and good, you have to convert that into kills. You have to convert it into something. It is going to be another one for Vlad. It's going to make it easier. 45 seconds. The spray coming through the floor. Not going to connect on to the Ash. Or the Valkyrie, sorry, finally going down an angle on. But now 35 seconds. Game of Drones got to push this one in, make sure that diffuser goes down. By Carl needs to be the one to do that. Just going to be droning it out to make sure there's still time, but the smoke is right here, making sure that they can't push in. And this is the time wasting coming into play. They've wasted a lot of time on the second floor, and now they're wasting the time here towards the bomb site. They have to push so quickly now. 15 seconds left. Is this doable? Smoke just making it so impossible to get through. Now the Ash pushing through, going to be taking down 2 immediately. That's exactly what they needed. It's up to Fred to try and stop the defuse from going down, or at least get the kills in, and it's not going to happen. Game of Drones going to be getting the final hits in. Well played, well played. That could have been an easy round for Vanguard Gaming if they were able to hold on, but Smoke, it seemed right at the last second, switched up where he was throwing the smoke grenades, and that made it impossible for them to hold on, because as soon as the Ash got inside, the kills came through, and well, that was that. 3-2 now in favor of Game of Drones, but of course Vanguard, it's close on their heels. We're going to be seeing Jaeger, Kavira, Bandit, Newt, and Doc. Kavira going to be 6th picked away into the Pulse. Ash, Buck, Sophia, IQ, and Nomad going to be the picks on the other side. The Nomad, of course, being the only new operator that we're seeing, but not a surprising one. This is a pretty standard operator to have on the attacking side. I've actually sort of surprised that we haven't seen it a little bit earlier. It is one of those staple picks that a lot of teams will just pick up because it's so strong. The area denial, of course, being very, very strong. And I mean, it's just one of those things that it can prove invaluable. You know, it can stop the rotations coming in from behind, catching you out. So if that's what you're worried about, pick up the Nomad. Of course, that will be quite a strong pick for you. In any case, the Pulse coming through is an interesting one. I want to see how they play this one, if they play it through the walls or if they play it maybe below the site, because that is also quite a powerful tool to use. If the Pulse plays below the site, defend that from any vertical clears, but also you can attack from below. Of course, with that Nitro Cell, stop any of those defusers from getting planted. Almost like a Echo by proxy. So we'll see if that comes through. Of course, now Game of Drones starting their attack, moving in. We'll see if they move into the first floor or if they push straight into the second. I wouldn't be surprised if they move into the first one to do a clear of this, which means they will be running in to some resistance. You can see Zell. Oh, Zell just peeking out and getting one, almost getting a second, but will be taken down immediately for the trade. But the refrag is coming through as well. So that's already 2 very quick kills for a Vanguard. Now the trade's coming through. Jaeger going to be hit as well. That's going to leave this on a 2v3. Now Vanguard on a 1v3. It's up to Arceus to try and make this work. 2 minutes is a lot of time for Game of Drones to work with. They've got Sight Control. And, well, the Pulse isn't going to be able to play from below this time, not watching the plant, and now, well, now it is just on to whether or not the Pulse can get a pick. If the Pulse gets a pick, it might be more doable. 1v2, of course, not as difficult as the 1v3, but you have to get that pick, and Nomad actually going to be right there to make sure that time is wasted, make sure that the fuse cannot be destroyed. And yeah, now the util being used just to push Pulse off of position, wait as much time as possible, make sure that that solid victory comes through. There's not much to do there. Game of Drones going to close it out, and on to 6. Well played. Ooh, a no-scope, or a hip fire, shall we say, rather. Coming out there. Very nice way to end the round. It is 4 now to 2. 4 against 2 in favor of Game of Drones. Game of Drones now going to be picking up those defense operators, that being Bandit, Valkyrie, Jaeger, Mute. And we'll see the last one. No, it's going to be a Smoke and a Maestro coming out for them. On the other side, the Monty, Ash, IQ Sledge, and Thatcher coming through for Vanguard. And that's a nice, spicy pick on the Monty there. We're going to be seeing Hooker and Billiards coming out as the first defense for Game of Drones. And the Thermite being 6th picked away from the Sledge, the Mozzie, 6th picked away from the Maestro. So some very, very nice picks coming out here in the first round of the second half. Let's have a look and see how this goes. Now, the Thatcher and the Monty, of course, not being taken off the board, is going to be quite a strong pick that is surprising that we didn't see, because, of course, the Thatcher being on the board is quite strong. And the Monty, we've been seeing a lot recently. Monty, a very, very popular pick in recent times, especially when talking about ZA Siege. Very, very often see that Monty come through when it isn't banned. So the pick ban in the local scene is very high for Monty. Interesting that we didn't see him coming out from Game of Drones when they were on attack, but Vanguard are going to be picking it up and seeing what they can do with it. So let's see if they can utilize it to any sort of advantage. Of course, now Game of Drones going to be putting up the defenses. Vanguard now make their way in. I'm interested to see how they use this Monty and how they play around, because Monty can be very, very strong or incredibly useless. And we've seen both of those cases happen in the ZA community. We've seen Monty absolutely dominate when played to perfection and played brilliantly. And we've also seen the Monty sort of be picked for the sake of Monty, and it can really, really backfire. So we'll see which one it is today. We'll see if Vanguard can make the most of that pick. Now you will see the Monty now all the way up here in towards the aquarium. Going to be putting that pressure on right up here towards the bomb time. That is the strength of the Monty. You don't have to do the vertical clear. You can put immediate pressure on it towards the site. And we'll see now how Game of Drones deal with this threat. It's not an easy one to deal with. Nitrous Cell being prepped to try and take out the Monty. Oh, nope, it is not going to come through. The Monty will still be alive, but they're going to be taken down in the meantime. That's 2 down for Game of Drones. Vanguard putting up a very good attack here. Finally, Vlad's going to get 1. The IQ going to be taken down as well. Monty trying to get something done to maybe get the res in, but it's not going to work. Both players get taken down. It's a 2v3 now. Vanguard on the back foot. spray down there coming through. Arceus going to pick that one up. The trade comes through though, so it's a 1v2. Arceus has a lot of work to do. Oh, the pre-fire coming in a little bit too early. Not going to catch out enemy. And now enemy on the rotate might actually catch Ash out. Footsteps being heard. Ash pushing through, trying to get the pre-fire on. Not going to land on anyone just yet. 41 seconds left on the clock. Can they make this happen? Two players playing very, very passively. Not an easy one to get. Oh, the peek coming through, but is he looking at the right direction? Not going to get taken down just yet, but they are just playing for the time. 20 seconds remaining. Something has to come through. Ash has to get very aggressive here, otherwise nothing is going to happen. They were spotting them out on the Valkyrie cam. He finally finds it, and now this is the do or die moment, and he's not going to be looking in the right direction. Game of Drones win round 7. Very nicely played by enemy behind that shield. And that's pretty much exactly how you want to be playing in that situation. You don't need to get aggressive if you're on the defense. A lot of teams will. They'll just get aggressive because they have the man advantage, but that actually opens you up to losing because that gives the attackers a chance to come back. It gives them a chance to make a clutch. If you do what they did, you've got the information, you know where the player is, so you can just play completely passive. You do not need to peek, you do not need to push, nothing. You wait until they expose themselves. And well, that's exactly what happened. So 5 rounds now to 2. Game of Drones are looking to close this one out quite decisively here in this map. Of course, best of 1, which means the team who wins this map wins the match and gets that point moving in towards the end. Those eliminations coming through. Actually, why Carl going to be doing a bit of killing there? I'm not sure if that was intentional. I don't think it was. That is very unfortunate. That is very, very unfortunate. Trying to open up the walls and accidentally takes out a teammate, and that's going to mean that Game of Drones are going to be playing from behind from the get-go. 1 player down, and that of course being the Mozzie, which means that all of that utility denial straight off the board and all of the power of the Commando for the Roni, of course, if you play with the Roni, being taken off the board as well. So that's not a great way to start things out. The Game of Drones, they at least have a bit of a lead, so if they lose this one, it won't be too bad for them. But that's just another chance for Vanguard to get back into this one. So hopefully we can see Vanguard trying to take absolute advantage of the situation. Coming through once again for Vanguard. We didn't see it utilized too much. Oh, Quackall actually going to be leading the game as well. I'm not too sure what the case is going to be there. I'm not too sure if they're going to be asking for a rehost. They'll be asking for a rehost, so we'll have to be getting into that probably next round. So we're going to have to watch this round play out for the moment. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's going to be a Game of Drones with 3 players now to try and defend against Vanguard, and it's not an easy feat to do, I must say. It's not going to be easy to hold on to this with only 3 players, but it's not impossible either. This could definitely still come through. Game of Drones have proven themselves to be quite competent, so we're going to be seeing enemy getting that first frag in. Once he making his way in towards the site, the user is there. They could potentially get a cheeky plant, but the thermite goes down immediately. Game of Drones, they're not letting up. They say 2 players down. It doesn't matter. We can still make this work. 1 minute 35 seconds left on the clock. The shots coming through. There's only 2 players left on either team. And considering Game of Drones started with only 3 players, that is quite an incredible thing to be saying right now. 2 players left remaining, Thatcher and Monty, to try and attack this bomb site. And oh, the Thatcher getting a perfect shot into enemy. That's leaving it all down to the Maestro to try and make things happen. Thatcher very low on HP, could be taken down pretty quickly if the shots are placed in the right direction. The laser beam that is Maestro, this could be possible. The knife coming through is going to make this a 1v1. He's looking in the right direction, but Vanguard ultimately wins it out. Taking the fight, landing the shots. There it is. This could have gone either way. But, well, there it is. Vanguard taking the round. And it looks like they might just have to play from behind. All right, looks like we're going to be going for the rehost, so we'll be right back once that has been done, and we'll see you in a bit. right. I hope we're in. I think we are. We're right back into it. Sorry for the delay. Of course, we can't really control those technical difficulties or, you know, do any of that stuff. It happens pretty much every single time, every single tournament. You won't find one without them. So thanks for the patience. It is me, your boy, Patchy, aka Patchwork Fennec, and we're here once again to get into this. Of course, it's going to be round 9. It is a Game of Drones versus Vanguard, and well, Game of Drones been doing a pretty good job so far, and they almost won the round previously 3v5,
Attackers need
which
to
is
locate
quite an
and
impressive
defuse
feat
bombs.
in and of itself. Now we will be heading into a kitchen once again for Game of Drones. That's where they will be defending this one. They're going to be picking up the
Bomb located
Valkyrie,
by
the
attackers.
Mute, the Jaeger, the Smoke, and the Oryx, which is quite interesting. I don't think we've seen an Oryx very often in these competitive matches, so it'll be very interesting to see how that is utilized. On the other side, we're going to be having the Monty, the Thatcher, the Jackal, the Amaru, and of course the IQ. So very interesting to see that coming through. That, of course, being the Amaru, the interesting pick over there. You don't see that every day. It's not a very common pick to see, but it is what it is. So we'll see if that gets utilized. Obviously, you can make some very fast-paced things happen with the Amaru, but you have to utilize it perfectly. Now, of course, that buff for Amaru did come through recently, which is really, really cool. I'm not sure if that's live. I think it is. So, of course, the time to raise the weapon for Amaru has been lowered so that she can get her weapon up faster after she uses her gadget, which is pretty cool. And hopefully we see a little bit more of her getting utilized in the future. But for now, it is going to be Vanguard now making their way in, getting themselves set up. And utilizing the Monty on the kitchen attack is actually a very, very strong choice. So right now you're going to see the Monty just trying to push in and start utilizing that shield to bait out all of the utilities here. You can see that the smoke grenades are coming through from the smoke to try and stop the entrance, which is going to waste a lot of that util that the defenders have, which is going to be quite crucial if it comes down to a clutch situation. So we'll see if that does come into play. For now, though, the Monty going to be moving up and relocating for the moment, trying to attack from a different angle. 1 minute 40 seconds. The Vanguard now just putting themselves and setting themselves up. Oh, and completely expecting the run out. Arceus going to be watching that one like an absolute hawk. Zell now going to be chiming in as well. That's 2 Game of Thrones members out already. The sound alarm going off once again, giving away the position here of Jackal, but it doesn't matter because Vanguard is moving in and getting so many kills. Teal Peel going to be getting the shots back now. 3 players, the Game of Drones remaining against 3 for Vanguard, although one of them is down, but not out. It is Amaru and IQ to try and make this happen somehow. Looks like the Thatcher will be able to be rezzed, so they will at least have all 3 of their members, but this is going to be a difficult way to try and attack. Of course, sound proximity alarm once again going off, just giving away the position of Amaru as they come in. Vlad going to be picking up 1. There comes the trade. It's 2v2. Oh, but Amaru not looking in the right direction. A little bit of a cheeky hold there. And Game of Drones going to be taking round 9. So pretty spicy stuff here. Game of Drones being able to hang on to this one round after round. Vanguard getting so close to being able to take these rounds, but always falling short in just a tiny bit towards the end, not being able to make it over that finish line, making it very difficult here. So that's going to be match point now for Game of Drones, of course, being on a 6 rounds against the 3 coming out for Vanguard, which means Vanguard has no more room for mistakes. They have to win every single round in order to get themselves to overtime. 3 rounds in a row to get themselves to overtime, and that is quite a tall order considering the performance here from Game of Drones. We'll see if Vanguard is up to the challenge or if Game of Drones will be able to close this out here and now. We'll be seeing the Amaru coming through once again, and I have to question what that pick it was in the previous round. Doesn't look like they have Amaru this time around. I think that was 6 picked away. And we'll be bringing out the Blackbeard, though, which is quite interesting. Definitely an operator that can toss a bit of a spammer in the works, can be very, very aggressive, and not be punished for it because of that face shield. Of course, the Thermite, the Jackal, the Thatcher, and the Twitch coming out this time around for a Fred, deciding that that particular pick can be the most useful in this situation. On the other side, we're going to be having the Valkyrie, Jaeger, Mozzie, Smoke, and the Oryx coming out once again. It's interesting to see that that is the choice there, especially considering I didn't see it do too much work in the previous round. In any case, we'll see if that changes this time around, and if Game of Drones will be able to close this one out. So here we go. Vanguard now making their way in, beginning their attack, making sure they're getting all of that stuff going for themselves. Of course, the bomb site is up there on the 2nd floor. Nothing else really to say other than Game of Drones showing quite a bit of a 1st floor presence. The rest of Vanguard trying to make their way in. Blackbeard here setting himself up towards the window, taking a peek with that drone, making sure it's not going to get caught out anywhere as they start to make their way in. They know they need to win this. They know they need to play perfectly. It's just a matter of time as to how this plays out. We've seen Vanguard get so close, but they need to be able to close it out if they want to win this one. Or at least give themselves a chance at winning this one, as they will be fighting, of course, for that overtime. 1 minute and 55 seconds left on the clock. Now, and actually, some shots coming through, some good angles coming in through from Rixta is going to mean that Game of Drones are fighting with a man down. But we've seen them do this before and actually make that 2 players down. And we've seen them do this before. They can make this work still. But Vanguard putting in the effort, making sure that they take as much of these opportunities as possible. They need to get ahead, and they know they need to win this. So they're going to be playing as hard as possible. Narzius spamming through the wall, making sure to get those shots in. Not going to be caught out by any spicy bullet holes or surprise peaks. And now it's on to Enemy and Quakarl to make something happen. 2v4 with 57 seconds left on the clock. They're going to have to get all of this work done. Enemy and Quakarl just trying to hold down the bomb site, trying to hang on for these last 40 seconds here, see if they can do it. They are holding some interesting angles here, of course, Quakarl being on site and Enemy being just below it, trying to hold a cheeky angle. Enemy going to win out the first. That's going to mean that only 3 players now remain for Vanguard. Make that 2. Quakarl gets another one. They're holding on to this one as hard as they can, and Nitrocell makes it a 1v2, and suddenly Game of Drones are in a far better position. I mean, Jaeger is going to go down, but 15 seconds means that this diffuser has to get planted. Enemy has to win this one out somehow. You can hear the footsteps, but it's been a bait. It was a bait all along. He tries to take the plant, but it's not going to come in. This is it. Diffuser goes down. With 3 seconds to spare. Enemy has to win this fight now. Has to get the peak perfect, spots out the head, but cannot get this shot in. Passive coming out here from the Thatcher. Oh, but the peak is perfect. He comes in at just the right time, catches out the head, and that's done it. Game of Drones will be the winners as they defuse the Vanta. Well played. Game of Drones coming back from such a difficult situation is going to win it out in the end, take round 10 and take that point. GG, well played. Thank you guys so much for popping by. We will continue the broadcast, of course, going on into the game. I think it's about 3 o'clock, which is in an hour or so. So we'll see you then. That's been it from me, Patchwork Fennec. Go check me out on Twitter at Patchwork Fennec, or of course Patchwork Fennec on just about everyone. Well, that's from me. I'll see you guys in a bit. Cheerio.